Hey, can y'all hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Let's see. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, there you go. We're back. Win the game. All right, so give me a thumbs up or something on the board if you can hear me. Okay, con. Salaki about that. All right, had to reload the page. But I started off, man, just with basic greeting. Call hello, y'all, Bashim, y'all, Shah, Bashim, Krakadash, Brakatham to all of you. Hey, all praise, call hello to the Most High, to Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shah. I want to send double honors as usual to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And then salutations to all of you pushing the glory of Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shah in sincerity and truth. So, Brother Ariala, I'm sitting here with my son, and we're going to read this next volume of Victory Stories. One of my favorite stories is Bel and the Dragon. And like I was saying, for the newcomers, that people who are just now kind of tuning in, Bel and the Dragon is in a part of Daniel, but it's in the Apocrypha. All right, so some of the apocryphal readings is a great story, and we're going to read through it today and just get a small bit of history. But the whole point of this is just I really wanted to just read through really dope stories that always stand out to me in the scriptures and put them on wax. So, with no further ado, I'm going to click over and begin to go through this story. Anybody that has corresponding precepts to some of the ideas that's coming out of the story, please post it in the comment board. Okay. Bel and the Dragon. It's only one chapter. It says, and King Astyages was gathered to his fathers. I mean, he died, and Cyrus of Persia received his kingdom. So we read about uh, in the Old Testament, King Cyrus. When you go through the book of Nehemiah and stuff like that, it was and you go through the Ezra. You can read about Cyrus. Now, Astyages was right before him. When you go and search him real quick, Astyages, it says, was the last king of the Median Empire, 585 to 550 BC, the son of Cyaxares. He was dethroned in 550 BC by his grandson, Cyrus the Great. Okay, it says Astyages succeeded his father in 585 BCE following the Battle of Hales, which ended a 5-year war between the Lydians and the Medes. Okay, he inherited a large empire ruled in alliance with his two brothers-in-law. All right, Serosus of Lydia and Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon, whose wife, Amethyst, Astyages' sister, was the queen for whom Nebuchadnezzar was said to have built the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, one of the wonders of the world. All right, but it goes on to say King Sennacherib has been evidence to have done the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, which you can go and independently look that up on your own. Okay, I just wanted to give a little backdrop of who this was. So letting you confirming more and more and more the scriptures that go through histories. The scriptures is real knowledge and history. When you're reading through the scrolls, it's just from the perspective of the Israelites. Okay, and this is one particular story that we're going to read through. All right, and says, and Daniel, right, conversed with the king and was honored above all his friends. As we know, Daniel was risen up in the Babylonian Empire, and in later on in the beginning of this Persian Empire. It says, now the Babylons had an idol called Baal. All right, and there were spent upon him every day 12 great measures of fine flour, and 40 sheep, and 6 vessels of wine. Right, so they would go worship this idol called Baal, which was a dragon, and they would every day have 12 measures of wine. 12 measures of fine flour. 40 sheep were slaughtered for this idol. 40 sheep. Do you know how much meat that is? It's ridiculous. All right, and 6 big vessels of wine was wasted on this idol. Okay, the scripture says, and the king worshipped it and went daily to adore it. But Daniel worshipped his own God. We know Daniel worshiped Yahweh. We're going to say Bahashem Yahweh Shah. And the king said unto him, why does not thou worship Baal? And he answered and said, because I may not worship idols made with hands, but the living God, who have created the heaven and the earth and have sovereignty over all flesh. All right. Sovereignty means rulership. Okay, so he has sovereignty over all flesh. Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, has sovereignty or rulership over all creation. right? All flesh. Then said the king unto him, thinkest thou not that Baal is a living God? Seest thou not how much he eateth and drinketh every day? Then Daniel smiled and said, O king, be not deceived, for this is but clay within and brass without, and did never eat or drink anything. So every day the people would put the flour out there, they would put the sheep out there, they would put the wine out there, and when people would come back in the morning, it would all be gone. So people would assume that this idol Baal was eating this every day. So they would go and give an offering to Baal for blessings, right? But Daniel knew better. Verse 8 says, so the king was wroth and called for his priests and said unto them, if ye tell me not who this is that devoureth these expenses, ye shall die, right? But if ye can certify me that Baal devoureth them, then Daniel shall die, for he hath spoken blasphemy against Baal. And Daniel said unto the king, let it be according to thy word. Now the priests of Baal were 70. All right, so that means it was 70 of them. 3 scores 20. Okay, so a score is 20. I'm sorry. So 3 scores 60 and 10. 60 plus 10, obviously 70, right? Besides their wives and children. So it was a lot of priests. And the king went with Daniel to the temple of Baal. So Baal's priest said, lo, we go out. But thou, O king, set on the meat and make ready the wine and shut the door fast and seal it with thine own signet. And tomorrow when thou comest in, if thou findest not that Baal hath eaten up all, we will suffer death. Or else Daniel that speaketh falsely against us. And they little regarded it, for under the table they had made a privy entrance, whereby they entered in continually and consumed those things. So they went out the door, but underneath the table where Baal was sitting, there was a secret door that they could come through and get the food and go feed their family with. All right. But no one knew. All right. 14 says, so when they were gone, the king set meats before Baal. Now Daniel had commanded his servants to bring ashes, and those they strewed throughout all the temple in the presence of the king alone. Then went they out and shut the door and sealed it with the king's signet, and so departed. So Daniel was smart enough to put ashes all over the ground. We're gonna find out why. Now in the night came the prince with their wives and children, as they were wont to do, and did eat and drink up all. In the morning betime the king arose, and Daniel with them. And the king said, Daniel, are the seals whole? And he said, yea, O king, they be whole. All right. You know what a seal is? They would put a seal on the door to where when they shut it and they put that seal, if someone opened that door, if the seal was broken, they knew someone broke in there. But the seal was still on the door, so they knew the door was locked. No one went through that front door. Okay. It says, all right. It says, as soon as he had opened the door, the king looked upon the table and cried with a loud voice, great art thou, O Baal, and with thee is no deceit at all. Then Daniel laughed and held the king that he should not go in, and said, behold, now the pavement, and mark well whose footsteps are these. And the king said, I see the footsteps of men, women, and children. And then the king was angry. So all the ashes that Daniel had put on the ground, they saw the footsteps in the ashes, right? And took the priests with their wives and children, and showed who showed him the privy doors, where they came in, and consumed such things as were upon the table. Therefore the king slew them and delivered Baal into Daniel's power, who destroyed him and his temple. Slew means to kill. All right. So the king killed all those priests and their kids and their wives. All right, all of them, for lying about Baal. And he gave Baal to David, which David destroyed it, and the temple of Baal. All right. In that same place there was a great dragon which they of Babylon worship. And the king said unto Daniel, wilt thou also say that this is of brass? Lo, he liveth, and he eateth and drinketh. Thou canst not say that he is no living God, therefore worship him. Then said Daniel to the king, I will worship the Lord of my power, for he is the living God. But give me leave, O king, and I shall slay this dragon without sword or staff. The king said, I give thee leave. Then Daniel took pitch and fat and hair and did seethe them together and made lumps thereof, this to be put in the dragon's mouth. All right. So he took pitch, which is like oil, with fat and hair, that way it could burn. All right. He put it all together and he put it in that idol's mouth. All right. This dragon. All right. And so the dragon burst in sunder, and David said, lo, these are the gods ye worship. So the smoke and that all billowed inside this idol and made it burst. Okay. When they of Babylon heard that, they took great indignation and conspired against the king, saying, the king has become a Jew and have destroyed Baal. He hath slain the dragon and put the priest to death. So they came to the king and said, deliver us, Daniel, or else we will destroy thee and thine house. Now, when the king saw that they pressed him sore, being constrained, he delivered Daniel unto them, who cast him into the lion's den, where he was 6 days. So the people got mad, and they took Daniel, captured him, and the king he didn't want no mutiny. He didn't want them to come against him, so he let them have Daniel. Well, they threw Daniel into the lion's den. He was in the lion's den with a hungry lion, a lion that has not eaten. So this lion is sitting in his den, hungry. And imagine you get thrown in that den with that hungry lion looking at you. What he gonna look at you like? Like a piece of meat, huh? So that's what happened to Daniel. All right, he got thrown in there for 6 days. You're sitting with a big old lion, just looking at you. Okay. And in the den there were 7 lions. Oh my bad. Let me get the story right. In the den there were 7 lions, and they had given them every day 2 carcasses and 2 sheep, which then were not given to them, to the intent they might devour Daniel. Right now, there was in Jewry a prophet called Habakkuk. All right, so you read out of the book of Habakkuk in the Old Testament, right? Who had made pottage and had broken bread in a bowl and was going into the field for to bring it to the reapers. But the angel of the Lord said to Habakkuk, go, carry the dinner that thou hast into Babylon unto Daniel, who is in the lion's den. So an angel came to the prophet Habakkuk and told him, hey, I need you to do something for me. I need you to go to Babylon and help your bro out. Okay. And Habakkuk said, lo, I never saw Babylon, neither do I know where the den is. I've never been there. Then the angel of the Lord took him by the crown and bare him by the hair of his head, and through the vehemency of his spirit sent him in Babylon over the den. So he teleported Habakkuk. He grabbed him by the crown of his head. Imagine someone grabbing your head, your hair, and vehemently, and you just get sent into Babylon. You're like, oh snap, where am I? This is what happened to Habakkuk. Right? And it says, and Habakkuk cried, saying, oh, Daniel, take the dinner which the Most High have sent thee. And Daniel said, thou hast remembered me, O God, thou hast remembered me, O Yahweh. Neither hast thou forsaken them that seek thee and love thee. So Daniel arose and did eat, and the angel of the Lord set Habakkuk in his own place again immediately. So he immediately got transported back to where he was, right? Which this story is so dope, right? And upon the 7th day, the king went to bewail Daniel. And when he came to the den and looked in, and behold, Daniel was sitting, then the king cried with a loud voice, saying, great art thou, God, their Lord power. Great art Yahweh of Daniel. And there is none other beside thee. Because when the king came and he saw that Daniel was just sitting in the lion's den chilling, and the lions didn't touch him. So that king knew, man, his God is the true God, right? And he drew him out and cast those that were the cause of his destruction into the den, and they were devoured in a moment before his face. So the people that came and got Daniel and threw him in, the king sought to reverse. Immediately when they got put in the den, the hungry lions went to town on them. Call hello, y'all, about Shimmy, I was shy, man. So I just felt like this is a real dope story. The part where Habakkuk was transported to help him out in the spirit by the angel. It's just a great story of victory, and it's just a great story that represents, hey, if you trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, if you hold your integrity in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, The Most High is going to protect you. Even if you're in a situation where it seems like you have no way out and you have no hope, you in a den with 7 hungry lions looking at you. The Most High put the spirit on the lions to leave you alone. You know what I mean? That's pretty dope, right? You know? So yeah, man. Like the water for the scriptures. I'm gonna read a couple scriptures that people put on the comment board. Let's see. GMS truth be told, put Michael 4:5 for all people will walk everyone in the name of his God, and we will walk in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, our God, forever and ever. Then he put Jeremiah 50:2, declare ye among the nations and publish and set up a standard. Publish and conceal not. Say, Babylon is taken, Baal is confounded, Merodach is broken in pieces. Con. And then he put First Maccabees 2:60 and 61. Daniel, for his innocency, was delivered from the mouth of lions, and thus consider ye throughout all ages that none that put their trust in him shall be overcome. Kind, beautiful. The kingdom is within, Psalms 91:14, because he hath set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him, and I will set him on high because he hath known my name. That's right. Hebrews 11:33 is a good one too. Who talking about Daniel, who through faith subdued kingdoms, wrought righteousness, obtained promises, stopped the mouths of lions. That's right, man. Last one, I'm gonna read this from the kingdom is within. Put Tobit 12:7. Do that which is good, and no evil will touch you. Even the mouths of hungry lions. So I want to say, man, the water for tuning in. Call halal, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakadash. Double honors once again to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Much peace, love, and salutations to all of you out there pushing the words of truth. Shalom.